Welcome to the Thought Boss Podcast. This is your host, Nicole. I'm here to show you that all the help you need is already inside of you and that you're far more powerful than you give yourself credit for. I'm glad you're here. Now let's turn you into a thought boss.
Hello, my friends. I'm so happy to talk to you today. This podcast is a really important podcast to make because this happens so often. The title of this podcast is What to Do When People Disagree with You. And the reason I thought of this podcast is because the other day I was on a Facebook group. It's just like a mom's group, and somebody asked a question about their husband. And, he was being lazy and he wasn't helping out, and she was really frustrated and he wouldn't listen to her. And there were lots of people who were willing to give advice, which is awesome. I love that we have social media for that reason. And I started off my comment with obviously I'm going to come at this as a life coach. I actually want to help this person. And I started off my comment by saying, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but blah, blah, blah. And she didn't love it. Well, she didn't really say anything about it. She liked my comment, but then somebody after her commented who was like, I completely disagree with this. He should be doing this and this and this. And if he doesn't, you should leave him, and he's awful and blah, blah, blah. And the person who had posted it was like, oh, I couldn't agree with your comment more. And so obviously she had found some validation from this comment that somebody had made. And great, if that's what she came for, then that's perfect. But the truth is, I don't really feel like it's serving somebody to just coddle them and people please and try to say something that makes them feel good. At least that's not my job. And so I know when somebody's not asking for coaching on something that okay, I'm not going to coach them. But I did want to offer my advice because what she really needed was a shift in her thoughts, because it wasn't helping her to believe that her happiness was in somebody else doing something. That she couldn't be happy until this other person learned how to be the perfect husband and said the right things and did the right things. And I just wanted her to know that something else was available to her. So that's why I said, this is going to be an unpopular opinion. But my opinion is that, stop waiting for him to change so that you can be happy. And, make your requests of him. But don't base your happiness in your marriage or your kindness to him or your value that you see in yourself, your view of yourself, on what he does for you or what he says to you or how much he helps you out, because that's when we get in trouble. So that's for another day. That's I will record a marriage podcast because I have learned a ton, and it has been super helpful for me to be able to feel emotionally independent from my husband. I feel like that's such an important skill because it makes me more of myself. It makes me more able to give my love and my kindness and to do what I want to do and create what I want to create when I'm not always thinking about what will my husband think of me, or what does my husband think of me, or does he approve of me, and does he like me, and does he love me, and is he doing a good enough job at showing me? I don't want somebody else in my life to have that kind of power over me. I want to know that I'm amazing and awesome and valuable and the best wife ever. But I can only know that by deciding for myself that that's me, that that's just who I am. And then anything that he says on top of that is just oh, awesome, you agree with me. This is great. But I'm not going to it's just really hard to actually get inside somebody's head and figure out what they think of you. Why don't I just go inside of my head and decide what I think of me? And then when I believe that I'm a good wife and I have a supportive, loving, kind husband who's awesome and I just love him for who he is, then I feel calm, then I feel peaceful, then I feel confident. And those are the kind of feelings that I want in my marriage. So we're going to talk about that later, I promise, maybe this week. But the thing I wanted to talk about today is what to do when somebody disagrees with you. And so I read the comment, and your gut reaction, and the reason they call it a gut reaction is because often it goes right to your gut. It feels sometimes like a gut punch. And the reason that is because you're a human. And as humans, we are designed to seek approval. Seeking approval means that we'll stay alive. Like, that really is survival. Our human interactions with other people, your brain is always trying to figure out, like, how can I get people to like me? But if we ask ourselves why, like, why do I even want people to like me? Why does it feel good? Why does my brain reward me with good chemicals when somebody else says, I like you, I approve of you, or they do something or say something that means that? Why does my brain seek that? And it's only because your brain wants you to survive. And so it's wired to tell you, I want you to feel good if somebody says you're doing a good job. And you can only feel good if somebody else says you're doing a good job. Because if somebody else thinks that you're good, then they're going to approve of you and they're going to keep you safe. And they're going to make sure that you have food and shelter. Especially if you're a woman, especially if you're like not super strong or super big, like, somebody who's like really big and cocky, like doesn't always need like that approval from somebody else, but their brain is still wired for survival. And so it's still going to be there no matter who you are. You're going to feel like there's a gut punch when somebody says, I don't like what you just said. Like, I completely disagree with it. And so here's what to do. First, we have to calm our nervous system. And here's how you do it. This is the class. Listen, this is a side note. This is a class that I am teaching all summer long. And I'm teaching it in people's houses. Kind of like when you like join an MLM and you're like, hey, like, people, will you come over to my house and like I'm gonna have a presentation? It's kind of like that, except for I don't want any money. I'm just doing this for free. I'm doing it for my friends. If you are my friend, or you have been following me for a while, or you just feel like people would benefit from this, it doesn't take much to be my friend. You can just be my friend. And you're interested in how to regulate your nervous system, which just means how to calm yourself down when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling stressed, or if you want to learn how to do this so you can teach somebody else, like your very anxious mom, or your very anxious child, or your fearful husband, or just if you feel like somebody would benefit from chilling out, this is going to be the class for you. Contact me on Instagram at ThoughtBossCoaching, or send me an email, Nicole@thoughtbosscoaching.com, and I will send you all the details on how to book me for a free class. This is the most amazing class because I actually teach you like the real thing. This is like the real thing that you do when you're feeling anxious, depressed, sad, upset, like frustrated, or happy or joyful. Like, I'm going to teach you how to actually experience all the actual emotions in your body, like the real energy that's created when you have a thought and it sends an electric impulse through your body, and then it does something to it. It either gives you a pit in your stomach, or makes your chest tight, or it makes your hands shake, or maybe you start tapping your leg, or your body's always taking instructions from your brain. Okay, so you have thoughts in your head, and then your body takes that thought and turns it, your brain takes that thought and turns it into a chemical. And that chemical goes in, like, down your spinal cord and into all of your blood and throughout your body. And your body's like, oh, what do I do when I'm nervous? I shake, or my voice gets like quiet or louder or faster, or I get like a pit in my stomach or something. Like, your body's always just responding to the thoughts that you're having. So, like, one part of my business is I teach you how to have new thoughts, but a really big part of my business is teaching you what to do with all that energy that happens in your body so that you're not walking around like a nervous wreck all the time. So that you're actually able to go and relax and breathe whenever you want to. Not when you like finally get that drink of Diet Coke, or not when you finally like lay down in bed. Like, anytime you want to feel calm and peaceful and full of love, or any emotion that you want, I'm going to teach you how to do that. So anyway, contact me if that's something that you're interested in, which, by the way, you will be very interested in it. People will come and be like, oh my gosh, can she just come again and again? Because it's amazing. Now, obviously I can only take like several clients at a time. Like right now during the summer, I can only have 10 clients. Like that's my max, 1-to-1. And so this is a great way to get me to be your life coach without having to wait for a spot to open up. So anyway, the first thing that we have to do when we feel like somebody doesn't like us, when they disagree with us, when they say something that like gives you that oh no feeling in your body, is I need you to find where that went in your body. I need you to try to track the energy. It's easier if it's like in your gut, because you're like, oh, it just feels like I'm gonna be sick, or it feels like like somebody hit me. But the lesser obvious ones are going to be like, are my shoulders tight? Like, is my jaw tense? Are my arms folded? Like, what part of my body is feeling tight or stressed? Like, where am I not feeling relaxed and calm? Most of the time we're feeling stress and tense because that's your brain's job, is to look for danger. So you're just kind of always on the lookout, which is why we don't really take that deep breath throughout the day. That's why why we have short breaths. Anyway, okay. After this has happened, somebody says, I don't like this. I totally disagree with you. Why would you say that? This is dumb. Or, okay, if you listen to the podcast and you go down and you click on the ratings, I have a 3.9 rating because I only have 11 reviews. Please, if you like this podcast, can you just go in, click the 5 stars, leave a review if you want to. Be like, I love her so much. This is the best podcast. I'm learning so much. But like one of the 2 reviews says Nicole's statements are problematic. And I saw that today and I just laughed. But part of me was still like, oh no, somebody doesn't like me. But I know how to regulate that feeling in my body. And I know who I really am. And I know that I love my podcast and that it's amazing. So here's what you have to do though, because you will start to feel it in your body. Like it will actually feel like this is dangerous. Like, I don't know what to do. I can't breathe. Like if it's an extreme case of it, like if your mom's saying something, like it really does depend on who it is, right? I don't know Princess Gigglebutt on Apple Podcasts, but if that was like my mom, like my body would be reacting more, because your brain feels like it's even more dangerous for like somebody that you know and love to not approve of you and to not like you. So this is really good to know, because people at some point are not going to approve of you and they're going to think what you say is problematic or awful and you're terrible, especially if you're being you and you're out there in the world, like sharing your gift with people. Like for sure people are going to disagree with you. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to find the feeling wherever it went in my body. Now I'm just going to say it's in my gut, because that's where I feel a lot of feelings, like intense. And so I'm kind of feeling it like right here at the base of my ribs and like right where my actual stomach is. And here's what I'm going to do to calm my nervous system. I'm going to sit in a place where I'm alone. I'm just going to kind of give myself space, and other people can be around, but I'm going to intentionally say to myself, like, okay, I'm here and I'm going to pay attention to you. And then I'll put my hand on that spot of my body. So right now my hand is on my stomach, and either out loud or in my head, I'm just going to say to myself, number 1, I love you. And number 2, you're safe. I want you to know that you're safe and that I'm going to take care of you. And that no matter what you do, I will always have your back. It is so important for you to be safe. Your body just wants to be safe. Your nervous system just wants to be safe. So you have to hijack it a little bit by offering it a calm moment and reminding yourself it's safe. It's safe for me to have opinions that people don't agree with. It's safe for people to get really mad at the things I say. And say this slowly, say this intentionally. Remind yourself over and over again until you start to calm down. It is safe for people to disagree. It is safe for people to misunderstand. It is safe for people to have really negative thoughts about me. I'm perfectly safe because you actually are. Okay? Other people's opinions do not determine your safety. You are safe without other people approving of you. Now, for some people, this is really hard, especially if the people that disapprove of you, like, provide for you. And I just have to remind you, like, as a human, you're resourceful. And you can always figure out how to survive without somebody else providing for you. Like, people get divorced all the time. People leave their parents and never ask for money from them again all the time. We figure out how to stay alive. It's not really true that your parents have to like you and approve of you in order for you to have what you need. Like, you really are going to survive even if somebody disapproves of you. Somebody close to you. Okay, so here's the next step. Okay, so after we have officially calmed your nervous system, the next step is for you to ask yourself, what do you think of me? And this is what I had to do with this post. I went back and I read the thing that I commented and said to this girl. And I said, do I stand behind this? And I read it again and I was like, yeah, I totally stand behind this. And so all I did was comment back and say, it's totally fine that you disagree with me. Hopefully the original poster got exactly what she needed. So that was important for me to go back and really have my own back when it came to what I said. Now, you just get to decide, do I approve of myself? And you might have said something or done something that you really don't like, that you don't approve of, that you're like, yeah, if I could go back, like, I would change what I did or I would change what I said. But we want to do it from a place of a lot of love. So, for instance, when I was, oh boy, this is bad. No, I can't share that. Okay, I'll share it. When I was a teenager, I worked at this burger joint, and honestly, I don't remember doing this. But my mom said I did. And, I don't know who told her, and who cares. But, apparently somebody dared me. I was working at this restaurant, and apparently, as a 15-year-old, somebody dared me to spit on one of my coworkers' burgers, and apparently I did it. And of course, my mom totally disapproved of that. Who knows who told her? I don't know how stuff gets around, but like, if you're my friend, don't go telling my mom stuff. I don't want to have the conversation with her. Anyway, when I first was confronted about this from my mom, I was like so ashamed and so embarrassed. Like, these are the thoughts that were going through my head. Like, what is wrong with me? I can't believe I did that. That's not me. Like, nobody's gonna like me ever again. My mom's not gonna trust me. Like, my mom disapproves of me. Like, I hate this. I can't believe I did this. I wish I could die. I wish I could turn back time and never do that. And instead of that, what we want the conversation to be like is, okay, I can see that I was a 15-year-old human. And that, of course, I did something that one of my friends told me to do because I like approval just as much as the next person. Like, I'm wired for it. Now, this isn't excusing my behavior. This is just noticing, like, you don't have to be a bad person to do, like, naughty things. Like, you can make obnoxious choices and still be a good person. And sometimes that just doesn't compute in our brain. We're like, oh no, bad thing equals bad person. Like, rude thing equals rude person. Irresponsible thing equals irresponsible person. And it's just not true. You can be a responsible person who has learned how to be responsible by occasionally being irresponsible, or who occasionally still does things that we would consider irresponsible. And you just get to decide, I'm still a responsible person. It's a lot. Like, I've learned a lot of this through being a mom. I've just decided it's never going to serve me or my kids to tell myself that I'm a bad mom, ever. And so I'm never going to say that to myself. I'm just always going to decide, even when I yell at my kids, even when I get upset with them, even when I snap, I'm still a good mom because it doesn't change who I am. It's just what I did. And so I can look at it objectively and be like, wow, yeah, I totally don't want to spit in anybody's burger ever again. But also I love myself and I forgive myself and I'm ready to move forward, and I'm glad that I learned that lesson. And you see how it's just so much different than like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? I'm awful and I'm so embarrassed by this. Like, we can tell embarrassing stories about ourselves when we realize it doesn't mean anything about who I am. It doesn't mean anything about my character. So you're even allowed to disagree with what you did or what you said, but it doesn't have to mean anything about you. It doesn't have to mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't have to mean that you're irresponsible or awful or rude. Okay, I hope that this helped. I know this is a quick, short podcast, but I'm trying to do these daily podcasts that are really short and like bite-sized and really helpful. And they're just kind of off the cuff, but this is something that so many of my clients have struggled with, and I just don't want you to struggle with it anymore. I don't want to give you another reason to hate yourself, like just because somebody said something about you. I want you to decide right now, I'm going to have my own back, and I'm going to remind myself that I'm definitely going to think things that are different than what other people think, and I'm going to have opinions, and that's not dangerous. It's possible even for me to have friends that have completely different opinions of me, and I totally love myself, and I totally love them. It's safe for us to disagree. It's okay. So calm your nervous system and have your own back. All right. I love you all. I'll see you guys on Instagram at ThoughtBoss Coaching, and I hope you have an amazing weekend. Hey, if you're ready to make your mind a safe and peaceful place to be, I want you to sign up for a free coaching consultation. And together we're going to find out exactly what makes you tick, and we'll heal your relationships with yourself, with God, your business, and other people. Because when you feel good, you can do good. I know that the world is waiting for the special magic that you have to offer. Don't make us wait any longer. Sign up for a one-on-one call with me and become the thought boss of your own life. Go to thoughtbosscoaching.com or find me on Instagram at thoughtbosscoaching.